Wo Yomi Shobo Nkocha, but mo kúrò ní Canada mo sọ kínní yẹn. Mo ní I still want to be a lawyer, pharmacist, journalist, PR. Ẹnìkan ní go now, go to St. Anne's College, 4 years, you finish there. Ká ní mo ti ṣe láti 2012, ṣebí màá ti graduate in 2016. Ṣebí nǹkan tí Dèjì náà sọ nìyẹn, ó Dèjì ń sìn, ó ti lọ law school, ó ti di lawyer. Ó ní lawyer VDM, ó ní lawyer everybody. Dèjì Adéyanjú, he's the hottest lawyer now in Nigeria. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't take time, Yomi. We can all go to law school. Because why do the lawyer, journalist and lawyer? We must 60 law school self. But there can be any question. Sorry, you got to find very hard to know. You can't have witnesses to me. I want key witness, anonymous witness to me. Don't be relate. Only that Russia tarun Mohbad ritualist, occultist then. Like irun ton ge lára Mohbad, irun ẹ̀ ton shave. Kọ́tò gbé sínú kásẹ̀ wọ́n tún ta irun fún yàn wọ́n lọ fi ṣògùn owó ṣògùn ògo àbí nǹkan. Some people do all this fetish stuff. Mẹ́tò ní kò gbé irun Mohbad fún cultist bí Wùnmí ni I don't know. Where is his hair? Where is his passport? Passport ẹ̀yẹ ni mo fẹ́ rí police ò tí interrogate yẹn. A ṣì wá iPhone. Wọ́n ti rí iPhone. Ọwọ́ mú iPhone. A ṣì wá iPhone footage. But where is his passport? Is there a visa in it? Àwọn stamps wo ló wà nú ẹ̀? Stamps Manchester Heathrow gbogbo nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ ni forensic information tí ọlọ́pàá ò ṣe tó pé àwọn citizens ló ń ṣe. A journalist, a Nollywood actor and activist, NGOs are getting involved. Yomi's NGO, all this stuff. Wá gbọ́ eléyìí Yomi nígbà tí wọ́n jẹ́ ìyá ọmọ torí ọwọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ tó ti ń wú. Ṣé bí Yomi ṣe sọ daughter-in-law ò gbé lọ sí hospital? You as the mother, you stood there and you were watching your child suffering, but you could go to Naira Marley's house. Is this the same mother? Is it the same person tó dúró níwájú bed Naira Marley? Tí Naira Marley ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Mohbad nígbà tí Mohbad fẹ́ kúrò nílé tí Mohbad káwọn parents ẹ̀ lọ bá label boss.
Yes.
Is this the same woman?
Yes.
Tó lè lọ lé Naira Marley bọ̀ kò lè gbé ọmọ ẹ̀ lọ sí hospital.
Ó tọ́ ọbẹ̀ ni pé Wunmi might have told the mother. Because tí o bá sọ fún ìyá yẹn tí ó dẹ̀ rí pé kọ́ ẹ tó lè rí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, that means tó fi lè sọ pé we need a nurse, that means there is evidence of pain, not even bleeding, pain excruciating, ó ti ní pain as in ọwọ́ yẹn ti ń ro owó pé how am I gonna, ọwọ́ yẹn ti ń limp ẹ̀mọ̀ kẹ́yìn máa limp ọwọ́ kó ti máa dangle kó máa gbé yé don't touch it, don't do me. Now ó ti wá ń wú nìyẹn because picture yẹn let's send this sí nurse pé okay má bọ̀ ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ send ẹ̀ sígbà tó fẹ́ wọlé. My own grasp is Beshejo close it to, you are going to be going with the mother on Monday to stock 5 million. Even if it is call your name lost memory. Mommy, ẹ máa padà bọ̀, ọmọ yìí ti ṣe lọ́wọ́ o, ẹ dẹ̀ kókò ní fẹ́ lọ hospital, ẹ ìjọba bá sọ̀rọ̀. Because wàá máa wọ pé tí ìyá ẹ̀ bá dé tó bá rí ọwọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀ tó wú báyìí. First time tó bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé kí ló ṣọkọ ẹ lọ́wọ́. Ọ̀hán ní àtàná ni ọ ṣe léṣe lọ́wọ́, wọ́n ṣá lọ́wọ́, ọwọ́ ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ro ẹ ti pe nọ́ọ̀sì látànà kò ó yín lóhun ò lè wá, ó ń bọ̀ lọ́la. So there are some things you know that if you say to your mother-in-law or any other adult, what you open, eléyìí yóò tiẹ̀ náà ní ọkọ ẹ̀, eléyìí ó lè gbìyànjú kí wọ́n kún lẹ̀lẹ̀. So at the end of the day, what if ara mú ṣe ara wọn lẹ̀? Negligence is already setting. So even if whatever by Mohbad cannot be established, it could still be certain that negligence took Mohbad's life. It's part of the reason why he died. And the only person negligent is the wife. And every other adult in the house. Papa is back and blue to one day.
Àti nurse gan.
Oh no, nurse professional negligence here. I'm talking about proper negligence, like you leave somebody to buy when you are supposed to give a person care. Okay, kò lè lọ hospital. Ṣé ẹ padà rú lọ bàtẹ́ tó ti dòkú? Ẹni tí ayé ò lè lọ hospital, ẹ wá ń ru òkú ẹ lọ. Does that make any sense? The judge will be the judge and the trial court will tell you, make it make sense to me. And it only could very much in the hospital. But when it died, now a while quick, so what is the hospital for? Is the hospital a mortuary? The hospital is where they treat people. So why are you now rushing him to the hospital? So you left him deliberately because you decided within you that he does not need hospital. Because you need to let him stand up now and tell us, if he cannot confirm it, it means that he was in a serious pain or he was incapacitated and you left him there to fight. Judge play fast one. ama angi síbẹ̀ yẹn on the leye kò sí lawyer kọ́ lọ pé best lawyer gbogbo àgbáyé kó wá sọ pé tó bá ṣubú lẹ̀ kọ́ máa wò ń bẹ̀ kọ́ máa wò ń bẹ̀ on charge ọmọ ẹ̀. Dr. Conrad Murray was sentenced based on not only professional negligence but personal negligence because he left the man to that in 3 minutes. He was trying to perform nonsense when he knew what might have led to what is causing that seizure. At the end of
the Conrad Murray Yomi sọ pé nǹkan tí Conrad Murray sọ ó ní Michael Jackson ló ní kó máa fún ní propofol yẹn lọ bóun ló ṣe administer if you're a doctor tó bá jẹ́ doctor tó mọ̀ pé level wà of a drug tó pé you should not be given anymore no matter what the person says you don't have to succumb to that is the reason. Yomi àwọn èèyàn young bíbá àwọn èèyàn young bíbá àwọn ọmọ Gen Z pọ̀ gan bíbá but Yomi ṣé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ṣẹ̀rùbà wọn ṣoṣo àwọn nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ṣẹ̀rùbà wọn ṣo follow case ṣẹ̀rùbà wọn Governor Adeleke.
Yeah, is that not the senator?
Senator and Governor Adeleke. Let me speak in English for them. Sherubawon is a very good close family friend of the Olun lawyers. You know the Adeleke and the Olun lawyers are friends. Now, this is Davido's uncle. He was the first, he wasn't the first, but he was the senator of Osun State and the first executive governor of Osun State. And his name is Isiaka Adeleke. Governor Adeleke had a back problem and they had surgery. After the surgery, he was recovering. But by the time he entered the Senate from the governorship, when he finished in the governorship, the complications got so bad that they did not go to the hospital. They hired a nurse to come to the house. And when the nurse will come, it was a male nurse. He will inject him with painkillers and all that. The same scenario as Dr. Conrad Murray, who was the many of these children were 4 or 5 years old in 2009. Dr. Conrad Murray was Michael Jackson's doctor. Michael was preparing a tour after a long hiatus, and he wanted to be healthy, he wanted to perform hard. So Dr. Murray was giving him a drug called propofol, which will keep him awake a lot and be energetic and do more practicing. But Michael kept taking this propofol, and there were times that it was too much. And Dr. Murray said that Michael just asked me to keep giving it to him. Even if the patient is requiring the stuff, you as a doctor should not do that kind of stuff. It is dangerous. And then they were giving him Demerol as well for pain. Like Michael had this thing, this obsession about his concert and everything. So in any case, the propofol Michael was overcome by the propofol and he died. So Dr. Murray was arrested. He did, how many years? Look by Yomi, 2 or 3? Abi 2. 2 years, look back. 1 funny man's slaughter, or they lose license and everything. But at the end of the day, like if you look at Sherubawon, Governor Adeleke, that's his nickname. Governor Adeleke's nurse kept giving him the painkiller because Adeleke was very much in pain. And all this was going on in the house. So, Yomi Shoshingbo Mimbe.
Mo
kàn fẹ́ ṣe sound check ní kí mo pé gbogbo èèyàn ń gbọ́ mi. Governor Adeleke, at the time he was a senator. Senator Adeleke kept telling the nurse to keep injecting him with the painkiller, and the nurse kept doing that. Now, when you have somebody who is in pain, especially sickle cell patients, we've seen families of sickle cell patients actually sue hospitals or doctors saying that the patient died because of the sickle cell. Thank you for that money gone. Because of the sickle cell, whatever. Many sickle cell patients usually die of an overdose of a narcotic. And the problem was that we want to keep them out of pain. Okay, risk versus benefits, medicine. Now, in the case of Adeleke, that drug was kept being injected by the nurse. So he died. He actually had an overdose. When he died, nurse was...
Sorry, man. I want to quickly chip in another because I dissect. It's part of the subject matter. They said Mohbad was fighting Prime Boy.
Yeah.
And Ogbaglas Moto. Abi?
Yeah.
And it came between you and I. And you listen to me if I'm making sense or not. He hit the car or the glass. And the 5-month-old was in the car with the mother. Who will be the first person to react and ask that to know what is happening to the child? Ejo, who should be the first person?
The first person to.
Or is it possible? Or is it possible that glass tó rún sílẹ̀ lẹ̀? Then it's no possibility that only to see one ojú ọmọ yẹn ọkọ sí wa rẹ̀. In all their testimony about the old glass store, nobody ever said, when I saw the glass broke and everything, I was struggling, fighting for my son to know. Shepo Sisiloju, nobody remember to put that.
God bless you.
Kò sí bí Mohbad ṣe lè wà intoxicated tó mọ̀ pé ọmọ òun wà ní mọ́tò tó dẹ̀ fọwọ́ fọ́ glass àti spending tó lóun wà lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n ní kọ́kọ́ máa they will forget whatever. Because kò sẹ́ńtò àkọ́kọ́ ọmọ yẹn is not a potential is a potential danger. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì bẹ̀ tí glass yẹn bá fọ́ they will swap Wunmi and the child into the other car. Tí glass yẹn wà okay because excess breeze will be seriously putting the child in danger.
Now, Yomi, based on what you just said, Yomi, I will go back to Adeleke in a second. Based on what you just said, Felix did not.
Expert knowledge on that.
But very far about Sister Adeleke ni pé bí àwọn èèyàn ṣe ń fúnyàn lógún tán dose wọn nígbà tó ṣe trial ti nurse Adeleke was acquitted in the end, as you know.
Thank you for gift and
exactly. Thank you for the gift. Yomi Shori nurse Adeleke was acquitted in the end, but I just came back from Canada and I waded in into the whole thing because I felt that the man was in pain and I just kept giving him pain medication. And you are not a doctor, you are a nurse. Why were you doing that? Why are you shaking it? He was really in pain and everything, and he demanded if I don't give him the pain medicine. So I started comparing Adeleke to Conrad Murray. Like people saying that the patient wanted me to keep giving them. A lot of people in Nigeria said, why did Adeleke have a nurse in the house? Why was he not in a hospital? Okay? And the reason was that he was in a hospital, but he was at home in what we call hospice. Hospice care, where a nurse comes and takes care of you in the house, which is nothing wrong. Now, the reason I had to tell the young people that story, Davido's uncle, okay, when he died, then his brother entered the Senate on another party, PDP, and that's what made Demola a senator. And PDP was rejoicing, saying they can win this, they can win that. It was a sympathy vote. He just took over. And Demola went to the Senate and then became governor. Now, what happened to Isiaka Adeleke is important. And what happened to, Michael Jackson's doctor is important. One of the things I heard about Mohbad's nurse is that, because I will need proof, but inside that loss of fame. Now, if this is in fact true, regardless of what killed Mohbad, both here just have triaxon look pa Mohbad. If this is all true, the death certificate should be reading drug, blah, 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 secondary to a stab wound. Secondary to something else. From what I heard, one nurse to administer self-triaxone in bag IV bag. One IV bags, vials, ampoules, for evidence. One sodium chloride, 5% dextrose. You know when we're doing IV bags, IV bags.
How true is it that Adura at a point went to buy some injections?
Now,
is it true?
Ente mi gbọ́ pé lọ ra injections ni DJ Bami. Òun náà sọ pé lọ sí pharmacy lẹ́ẹ̀mejì. Mi ò gbórúkọ Àdúrà rárá. But ẹni tó rán wọn lọ sí pharmacy was the nurse.
Unti DJ Bami Muwaye, was it administered on Mohbad?
That is the question. According to police, the police said we took a lot of empty vials. And when empty vials at our ampoules, Mohbad injection, rich antibiotic, the police released.
I don't know. If you know to my question,
pertaining to
I asked a vital question.
Tí
nọ́ọ̀sì yẹn tí o ṣe pé òun ló rà wá fún rẹ̀ àbí òun tó nọ́ọ̀sì yẹn rà kọ́ wá fún rẹ̀ àbí.
Kora much according to what they told us. Ọlọ́pàá nínú press conference owó ń há ní pé wọ́n rán Bami lọ sí pharmacy lẹ́ẹ̀mejì.
No, I don't know. I get it right. All the injections administered on Mohbad, the nurse did not buy anything by herself or bring them herself.
No, according to the police on the press conference, she sent DJ Bami to go to the pharmacy twice. And when he went to the pharmacy, he brought all the different drugs. When they got there, I want to evidence.
I want to finish. I not see.
Sorry, I mean, most of the people not sure they died in prison. One marry arrested, but listen to this. Nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé gbogbo oògùn tí DJ Bami kó. Sorry, nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé gbogbo àwọn oògùn tí DJ Bami lọ rà ní pharmacy. DJ Bami is avoiding anybody's life. He's not talking, and I don't blame him. He must have a lawyer. But gbogbo oògùn tó lọ rà wá tí nọ́ọ̀sì rán kó lọ rà wá. Àwọn oògùn yẹn, àwọn empty containers ẹ̀ làwọn ọlọ́pàá kó lọ fún evidence òun náà ṣe rí gbogbo orúkọ oògùn tán wá list gbogbo orúkọ.
ọ̀pọ̀lọpàá tó ń dé láàbù tó ń dé kí ní ẹ̀wù fọlọ́pàá kó empty lọ jàre wọ́n kọ́ máa kó sí ara nìkan.
Listen to me nǹkan tẹ̀mí wá gbọ́ from an insider ni pé gbogbo àwọn IV bags tí wọ́n lọ rà wọ́n ní ceftriaxone was injected inside sodium chloride. We use 0.9% sodium chloride and we use 5% dextrose. When we are making IVs, Yomi, ṣòrí tó máa ń gbé àwọn èèyàn bọ̀ tí wọ́n bá ẹjọ́ ẹgbẹ́lẹ̀ ẹsáré gbẹ́lẹ̀ tó máa ń gbé àwọn èèyàn bọ̀ lọ́sípítù èmi máa sọ fún ẹ because University of Maryland ní prototype everybody is shot from East Baltimore. The helicopter is coming. Helicopter medivac ń bọ̀ pẹ̀lú èèyàn méjì wọ́n á ti rédíò wa ní hospital tó bá ti rédíò hospital only we have a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old both shot. 17-year-old shoot to 14-year-old. 14-year-old no shoot to 17 padà ẹ fetí sílẹ̀ o. One of them has a very big hole in his head, but to shoot bullets. The other one has a small wound, but the bullet is lodged. Both kids are unconscious, 14 and 17. The weight, they give us the weight. Their weight is this, their weight is that. Within the time, 24 any weights, I calculate those in Kotamache. Those calculation is very, very fast. That's why I thought you can calculate on the board exam. Or you calculate because in real life you cannot make a mistake. If you make a mistake, you kill the patient. So we have to start calculating the dose of everything we're going to give the IVs one fast. I want to know if it's in many at the ambulance, but I want to prepare for surgery because they're going into surgery with those bullet wounds. I'm telling people you. What you para one American? What you 14-year-old eventually who Anthony bigger hole in Orie. On survive for 2 days or not there but right now when she shoot around one so but violence is Baltimore but I want to prepare as a pharmacist. I have to know whether I'm going to put an injection inside dextrose 5% dextrose or 0.9% sodium chloride. Mo boy pe won ni pe Feyishayo won ni o inject ceftriaxone in sodium chloride ni o. If she actually did that on Lopa Mohbad ọ̀rọ̀ ma pọ̀ gan. If she actually put the drug auxiliary nurse Denny with the supervision registered nurse on site, which is the one thing that
I think she did it intravenously.
If she actually infused sorry got to buy any pay ceftriaxone yẹn ó ti gbé nínú ampoule nínú glass kini yẹn ó ti draw ẹ sínú syringe ó á wá gun wọnú bag yẹn check pé sodium chloride ló hang lórí bag yẹn instead of dextro ó pa Mohbad yẹn straight torí wọ́n ní bó ṣe inject ẹ ní Mohbad bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí convulse tí gbogbo goosebump dé meaning pé òun ló actually pa Mohbad secondary to àwọn tó kọ́kọ́ stab ẹ just like I explained with my cousin most one explain in a video Kule Olunloyo was in a car with a bad character one lay drug dealer ìwọ́dẹ̀ gbé drug dealer sínú car ọlọ́pàá lẹ́yìn ní high speed ẹ wá crash wọ́n wá gbé gbogbo wọn lọ hospital Kule was in surgery wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ surgery anesthesiologist dé wọ́n fún anesthesia kan bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gé gbogbo parts tó wà ní accident ìyẹn bá lè overcome pẹ̀lú anesthesia Kule bá kú. That's how Kule Olunloyo died. The anesthesiologist made a mistake. The hospital paid his wife $8 million. Can you imagine? And the children were 1 and 2 years old. Today, Stephen Olunloyo is 37. Derek Olunloyo is 36. 1 and 2 secondary to a car crash.
Because the lady nurse is not a professional doctor.
She's not a
she cannot go under involuntary manslaughter.
And
she can't go under involuntary
manslaughter alone.
So it's because Omo she's not meant to go that out. On cut corners, she's cutting corners. Because she go medical emergency, we have a first aid, don't give. she was actually treating a serious case.
Yomi, but she was not supposed to do it without supervision. And one auxiliary nurse in America registered nurse.
She knows that Etiko nobody need cover here because trying to patch that one is to give another opportunity for another nurse to do that. Check that to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we are okay on that one. Host, I think we have contributed enough. We should allow others.
So you're okay, basically, and you're cool secondary to something else. Should you understand? Now, death certificate, cousin me actually said he died of anesthesia overdose, secondary to a car crash after a police high-speed chase. So it's like anesthesia, mistake, one hospital to 8 million for in damages. Oh, you want to trust me because they had to be 18 years old. Our cousins they're not 37 and 36, but only 18 years old. Why Obama cash, dollars, toffee, chat, Facebook. Owó tó gbà tó ti fi sínú trust fund fún wọn. Anyway, time flies from 1 to 18 years old to 37. But really, Mohbad possibly died from a drug interaction. Secondary yẹn àwọn owó ha ò fẹ́ sọ ní press conference. Wọ́n ṣe present press conference fún wa nìyẹn o. They presented that press conference to us as a not using.
What if he was injected with overdose of drugs when he was stabbed? To stand as a decoy.
Yeah, but
what if he was?
You're not understand. Unless you understand the drugs, you man paying. Sorry, drug overdose of drugs. To find. I want to man paying. To buy food excess are usually narcotics, painkillers. I want to make peppers. Antibiotics antibiotics will rarely kill you as an overdose. What antibiotics will do is, if you infuse it in the wrong place, immediately sincerely believe pé only good bump your lára Mohbad nígbà tó gbé self-triaction yẹn sínú bag yẹn. So pé IV is like a line. IV is a line tó wọnú veins ẹ. So ògùn yẹn máa wọnú veins ẹ faster. Ìgbà tó gún abẹ́rẹ́ yẹn sínú bag tó hang yẹn. So ti yẹn wọ́n nínú sodium chloride ló lọ. Sorry, àwọn kọ́kọ́ wà nínú IV Mohbad, àwọn diclofenac injection. Wọ́n mọ diclofenac fún pain àti inflammation. Àwọn yẹn wà ní bag yẹn. So yeah, those ones go with sodium chloride 0.9%. So bó ṣe ń gún sodium chloride yẹn fún pain, tí Mohbad ní less pain. Ó ti gbàgbé pé òun ò lè gún sodium chloride, the self-triaction to the sodium chloride. She has to have a separate bag on that line, a separate IV bag on that line with 0.5% dextrose. Then she puts the self-triaction. But she made a mistake. She must have injected that self-triaction into the sodium chloride. Contaminated
which
the IV.
Which wound do gongo láti ẹsọ tó ń gba gbogbo tó tó yìí?
Deep wound ni contaminated the IV line, and the patient started having goosebumps, vomiting, and was
that hand is not a deep wound though. They told her she's coming to treat the hand. They said she's coming to treat the hand. They should bring the nurse.
No, what they said, what I'm saying is gbogbo report àwọn ọlọ́pàá yẹn irọ́ ni gbogbo ẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín.
Yeah, which one? The one about the medications?
No, what I'm saying is, Sherry, what happened, it's this just like a drug-induced, reactions. Most of these drugs, there are so many routes you can administer drugs. Some IV, some IM, And again, there are some water bags or solutions you cannot put some medications into and then infuse into a patient. If not, you are going to have not only tissue reaction, but also general anaphylactic reactions.
Exactly.
So there is possibility of that. I'm not doubting that. But what the most of our statement but for that to the nurse is never safe. It's never safe. I think I want to
Dr. Femi, are you saying that Ironon Pankpa list of drugs?
No, Sherry, Sherry, taba wo story script. It's a very big script. Along, it's a very, very big script.
First of all, sorry to interrupt you there.
One fait temo nurse yen. But one fait fi pin nurse yen mole.
Mr. Yomi.
Okay. Yomi Bobby by Yomi just sáré gbọ́ nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ sọ mi mo fẹ́ kó present. Dr. Femi, wọ́n fẹ́ fi pin nurse mole. What they did, they put a wanted stick poster out for Prime Boy. Wọ́n fẹ́ pin Prime Boy. When that one didn't work, because Prime Boy bá wọn délé. When that didn't work, they came out and they did the press conference. They came out and they did the press conference, and they now said, and I'm saying, "Talo mo nǹkan tí nurse yẹn infuse. Solution wo ló ti infuse ẹ? Ó gbé stress self-trial, so sínú sodium chloride ní àbí dextrose. Kí ló ṣe IM ló fún ni? There's so much we did not see.
The nurse confirmed she treated and administered those injections.
One point interrogated, yes.
Nurse, she needs to tell us
the route of administration. How did she administer them?
A lot of Dr. Femi, a lot of the medications were administered by IV and IM. I believe that at one point, once diclofenac one, IV, okay, at one point, because it was continuous pain for him. But the initial dose of diclofenac went IM. Okay, anytime show, IM means intramuscular. When you take an injection in your muscles, like doctor will tell you to take your pant off and they reject it in your bum, that's intramuscular, or maybe in your arm. Intravenous, the drug is going faster into your veins. That's when they give you a drip. So, doctor, I'm thinking that chemist, initial painkiller come back. And diclofenac, anti-inflammatory low. I did not see one single narcotic in the thing. Because obviously narcotics now you need a prescription in Nigeria. So they use a lot of diclofenac. And each time, Wumi was saying she was cooking Indomie in the kitchen. Yaba was there doing cooking too for them. Because Indomie was what they used to counteract the side effects of diclofenac. Do you understand, Dr. Femi?
Yes.
Because Mohbad, wọ́n ló ṣì lè jẹun, ó ṣì lanu láti jẹun because tó bá infuse diclofenac injection, it's like on an empty stomach, ẹni ó máa sick o. So wọ́n ní Indomie náà máa dà sí lẹ́nu tó máa tí ò ní jẹ́ kí ìyẹn ṣe kinní, tí ò ní jẹ́ kí ìyẹn react fún. So that's what they were using on the IV.
And again, Dr. Kemi, Cherima, little setting there, it has to be in a very big setting because
it has to be a clinical setting.
Yes, it has to be very big clinical settings. And again, these drugs has to be titrated. You know what I mean? It has to be titrated. So it has to be
Mohbad.
Oh no, no, so it miss out.
Yomi, Dr. Femi, nǹkan tó dùn mí jù ni pé àwa wá lọ di TikTok discussion. Nǹkan tẹ́ pé àwọn Nigerian doctors tó yẹ kó ti jáde kó máa bọ́lọ́pàá ṣiṣẹ́. Àwa wá lọ di TikTok discussion. Doctors on TikTok, activists on TikTok, journalists and pharmacists on TikTok, non-discuss. Nǹkan tí ó yẹ kí government máa ṣe kó máa láyé àwọn èèyàn lórí tí wọ́n ṣe. Wọ́n titrate drug. Ọmọ yóò titrate drug. Auxiliary nurse ni ọmọ pé wọ́n lè ṣiṣẹ́ alone.
And
clinical setting kò sí nínú ilé Adeleke. Nínú ilé Adeleke was a clinical setting.
Blood gone.
Wọ́n á gbé dúfè blood wọ́n lọ jó yẹn náà Ìyábọ̀ ní kó lọ jó ná. Wọ́n ṣèkà fún Mohbad.
Oh. All right, I say Goma, it's nice being here. Moderator, thanks for bringing me up. Yeah. Everybody, I appreciate it. Dr. Kemi, I want to ask you a question. Kitolo. How have you been able to sometimes when you talk, you go back to 1920, we had 19 clinical, you give us precise date, precise time, precise location, precise this, precise that. In fact, I must confess, I must congratulate you for that. You are such, you know what I mean? I mean, consciously, in terms of time, you are ahead of, you are very good with that. And I really appreciate you for that.